Somebody Stole the Moon by Timothy Boyer. Somebody stole the moon. It was just gone. It seems like a strange thing to say, but no one could see it anymore. It was harder to find your way around at night, and people missed it. They were sad and sometimes crabby. When it was time for Thanksgiving, they might not even come, and if they did, they would argue, and it was not fun.
That is the way.
Martha would say it. She did not like to say too many things, but she would say that much. So they put up paper instead. There is more to say about it, and people keep bothering Martha about it, so she would say some more sometimes. Everyone knows that it is true. The moon just went away. Some people did not notice because they were living in apartments, in big cities, and working all the time. Those ones did not know if it was dark outside or light, and they did not look up to see the moon, but other people were worried about it. They wanted to see it again, and they did not think things would be right until they did. People put up other things. They put up globes in their bedroom and globes up and down the street with things burning inside so they looked like the moon, but everyone knew they were not the real moon. When Martha was little, only 6 years old, her mother and father took her to Washington, D.C. to see all the big statues. And the ministador was there. She can't remember his last name because she never paid attention to things like that. Really, he was the president of the United States, but she got it jumbled up in her head. She was thinking about the minister of the church who dressed up and said things. She also saw matadors who dress up, and they were so brave. When a raging bull was charging at them, they would just stand there and not get hurt. When she saw someone dressed up in many different colors who would stand there and say or do things, she would call them the ministador. He came out of his office just for fun, and there were many people around. There were cameras to take pictures of everything and to put it in the newspapers, and also on television. He smiled and asked her,
"So what do you should do about this? The moon is gone, and people want it back, but no one can tell me what to do."
Many people laughed, but then they waited to see and to hear what she would say. She said,
I go to school, and I have many classmates and friends and cousins. We could put together paper and put it back up there.
Everyone was surprised when the ministador said,
"Yes, you are the first one who told me what to do. I think we will do it that way."
People did not like that answer. They thought it would cost too much money. It would take too much time, and then how would you get it up there? The ministador said,
"We will start small, and this child will lead the way. We will listen, and she will say what to do."
He said that on Mondays. Children would no longer go through 6 different classes except for recess and lunch. They would still have recess and lunch. They would put together paper and glue, and he made big plans. Trucks would come around and take the paper wads to the airport, and then planes would take them to Florida, because that is where the spaceships were. Other people would put them together and take them back up to where the moon should be. Then people would not be so sad and crabby and mean. People did not like the plan. They thought it would take too much money, too much time, and everyone was working, so who would do all this? But other people said they would help. Some were not working anyway, so they were paid some money. Then they were able to take care of their houses and their children, and some were retired, and so they said they had time to help out. Martha had a friend in her class. His name was Asher. He was from Asia or somewhere like that, but nobody cared because he was nice and fun to play with. People had a hard time with his name because it was a little different, and he did not speak the same way everyone else did. Sometimes he had to say it 3 times for people to get it right. "So," Martha said.
Asher would know about that.
So they would ask Asher. He knew a lot about fishing because his dad would take him on many days. Knew about hooks and line. He also knew about the boat anchor and the rope, So he said how it would work to hook up the large ball of paper, hook it up to a spaceship, and pull it up into the sky. So, Monday was work day for all the children in the United States. The children from other countries helped too, but Martha cannot remember all of them. One time Martha asked the ministador,
"Why is it that we have a Sunday, but we don't have any moon day?"
The ministador chuckled and he smiled. He liked it when he could talk to Martha.
But we do. It is called Monday. That is why all the children put the moon together on Monday.
Martha said.
"But they spell it wrong. You should fix that."
Martha was brave. She did not mind standing up and saying what she wanted to say. The ministador thought about it and asked many people about it. Then he told Martha,
I can't tell people how to spell things. They are free to spell things the way they want.
Martha said,
"No, the teacher will mark it wrong, and we will get a bad grade."
Martha said the ministador had to think about that too and ask many people. And then he told Martha,
I will send out a letter to all the teachers. I will say that the children can write Moon Day if they want. That is not wrong.
And that is why some people spell it Monday, but some people spell it Moon Day. The moon got back into the sky. It did not cost a lot of money. The children wadded up the paper. They made the rope and learned to tie knots. Everything went to Florida and they made a paper moon. And then they hooked it up and took it back up into the sky. And the children did not do everything. There were skinny people who came around wearing long white coats. Sometimes they wore funny things on their eyes. They had things in their hands and in their pockets. They were always looking at the things in their hands and in their pockets through thick glasses and other things. Martha remembers they always wanted 1 hour for lunch, and you could not talk to them then. They liked it if someone who looked like their mom would cook the food and bring it to them. They always liked the same things: mashed potatoes and gravy, meatloaf or turkey, and a vegetable. They liked rolls and bread just after it was baked and when it still smelled good. They liked ice cream and pie for dessert, usually apple or cherry. They liked the things a mum would make, or the things you would eat for Thanksgiving dinner. But they would listen to Martha and Asher because the ministador that they should. They were always looking at numbers. They decided it would take 3 spaceships to get that big wad-up paper back to where the moon used to be. When it came time to go, the ministador wanted to know if Martha and Asher could go too, because there might be questions along the way. Martha and Asher had to get special permission from their mother and their father. Their parents were worried and scared, and it took them 3 days to talk about it. But then they said yes, Martha and Asher could go on the trip. They could watch and make sure everything went right. Martha and Asher saw how the world looked from far away. They saw lights from cities and the globes people put up to look like the moon. They thought they saw airplane lights flying around, fireworks shot up into the sky, and maybe even sparks from campfires. But it was all very far away and it was hard to tell. Everything worked well. After the moon was back where it should be, everything seemed better. People were not so grumpy and upset. At Thanksgiving, people would have a nice time and they said they were happy to see the moon again. But then, something strange happened. The first moon came back. Now there were 2 moons, and everything got confused. The fish in the ocean were confused because they do things according to the moon, and the animals who liked to go to the beach and eat, they did not know when to go. The ocean tides were strange because they no longer came in or went out at the right time. Sometimes the 2 moons bumped into each other and everything would get even more strange and confused. The ministador asked everyone what to do, and everyone said to go back and get the paper moon, and so that is what they did. They put it in a desert where there was simply nothing to eat, but here no one lived, but everyone could go and get paper if they wanted some. They used it to start campfires and then roast marshmallows and other food when they were camping out, having a picnic, or just having fun. They liked to see the moon up in the sky and see sparks from the fire shooting up in the air. After everything was back the way it was supposed to be, everyone was happier. Then they had a big celebration day. All the children who helped could ask for their favorite food and also their favorite toy. Martha and Asher got older and lived in different towns, but they were always friends. They would write letters and see each other sometimes, like when they were on vacation or the 4th of July. People kept asking them so many questions, but they got tired of answering. Martha became a mother, and then she became a grandmother. Many people would come to her house and ask her to solve different problems. She would just say she was too busy with her garden, cooking, baking, and taking care of things. People wanted her to say things so they could put it in the newspaper and have a television show, but she would not say many words. They only knew that somebody stole the moon, and they had to put up paper instead. No one knew who took the moon, but Martha and Asher said that if someone did something wrong, they could say they were sorry, and you could say it was okay now. Even if someone stole something, they could bring it back, and then that was okay. Some people said that the angel watching over the earth maybe took it for just a little while. Maybe they wanted to teach people to listen to the little ones and work together better, and not be so sad and grumpy and mean. If you have ideas about that, you could say. If they ask her what to do about different things, she would say,
I am older now. You have to ask one of the younger ones.
If they asked Asher about it, he would say,
My dad took me fishing, and so I learned a lot of things. I learned that if a storm came, he would take me back to shore. So I learned not to be afraid.
Or sometimes, Martha would remember something she heard in Sunday school, so she would say,
And a little child shall lead them.
Somebody Stole the Moon by Timothy Boyer. Available on Amazon.